Hi, welcome to our Aperitivo with Uniworld. Today we're talking about cruise and rail. I'll just give you a moment to all come online. It's so fabulous to see some Aussies and some Kiwis on here to talk about some beautiful luxury travel. I thought I'd start by introducing who you're going to be hearing from today. My name is Jen. I work for the beautiful Uniworld Boutique River Cruises, and I'm joined today by a very special guest, Megan Bardsley. Megan represents the beautiful Golden Eagle luxury train. So, hello, Megan.
Hello, Jen. Hello, everyone. It's so exciting.
And so we're very excited to talk to you about some beautiful pairings. And where this has come from is that river cruising, we know, is such a fabulous way to see the world, particularly Europe, where you can unpack once, have the scenery roll past your window, and arrive right in the centre of town. And who else does that but beautiful trains? And so we've paired a couple of itineraries together, and we've got Megan here today to talk about some of those itineraries. So without further ado, I'm going to pass over to her to talk about the beautiful synergy between these two brands.
Oh, thank you so much, Jen, and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us and welcoming us into wherever you are today, joining us from home or your offices. It is such a pleasure to be part of this adventure that we have together with Uniworld because it does pair two of the most iconic modes of travel, cruise and rail. And so I want to introduce you to this concept of what a cruise ship would be like on the rails. And it starts with our company. And it was founded by this gentleman you see here, Tim Littler. He has started this company, we like to say, over 35 years ago, but really it's over 60 years ago when, as a young man, he used to run his own private rail adventures because he's keen on trains. And what Tim wanted to create was a moving hotel on wheels. So, a place where adventure travelers like yourselves could travel, have that comfort and luxury like a hotel, but move and traverse incredible landscapes, but to do it in style, comfort, and safety. And that's what Golden Eagle's all about. And that's what's so exciting because our language, Jen, I know we talk about this a lot, the synergy, it's like we speak the same language with Uniworld. And we have some incredible options available with their packages. And so the three itineraries today that we really want to share with you are the itineraries that combine exquisitely with Uniworld's cruises. So we wanted to kind of take you on an adventure today. And so we're going to start with our ship that we use to traverse this landscapes, and that's our Danube Express train. And this train is an iconic vintage train that holds only 62 guests, very intimate and so lovely and perfect for this voyage. And so let's take them on an adventure, Jen. Let's jump straight to that Paris to Istanbul, because this trip here is really about immersing you in an exquisite array of different cultures with different experiences. And as you see here, you can start the trip in Istanbul and go to Paris by train, and then you join the Joie de Vivre, or you can do the Joie de Vivre and then Paris to Istanbul. So you have that 7 nights on the train, 7 nights sailing. And let's look now at what this adventure entails, because truly a Golden Eagle voyage is exactly like a Uniworld voyage. We want to immerse you in the culture of the countries you're traveling through, private concerts, private events, those sort of unique offerings off the train. But also, this is about being on the train because this voyage traverses everywhere from the vineyards where we have private champagne tastings in Epernay, private concerts in Vienna, exquisite time in these magnificent Postojna caves, one of our guest favorites. But then it's also about being on board the train. And with Golden Eagle, and I know, Jen, it's the same for Uniworld, it's all about the champagne. It's about what happens on board being very special. And so when you're welcomed on board, we welcome you with champagne. You always are greeted. And then it's about the experience on board. So we have that time where, I don't know if you want to move ahead there for a sec. That's great. So when you're on train, it really is about the dining experience too. We like to call it a culinary voyage of a lifetime. And what that means is that we want that what's happening in those dining cars to match what's happening outside those windows. So when you get on board, you have that time to go back to your cabin, freshen up, and then come and join us in our restaurant cars where you will have exquisite, like on Uniworld, five-star dining with those exquisite wines paired and such an incredible array of food. We have chefs that are absolutely passionate about bringing you the finest, most elegant food. This is Pavel. He puts together the most incredible starters through to the desserts, which are a true masterpiece made by our dynamic pastry chef, Rebecca, who I like to call this a piece of art. I could see that hanging on a wall. And so it truly is about feeding you exceptional food so that you enjoy all of the tastes that match what's happening outside. And we have some extra little events on this trip because we also have on board an 8-course gala dinner, but it's about the bar lounge car too, because it's that relaxation time. And what else can you do when you're on a moving train? It's about seeing the landscapes, but it's also about sharing time, sharing drinks, sharing stories. But again, on this trip, we have it a little bit different in that we offer some on-train experiences, which are exceptional. And so one of the things that we offer is a confectionery masterclass. And what that means is that when you go home, not only will you have your photos of the trip to share with your friends, but you'll also be able to share with them the very food that you learned how to make on the train and share that culinary experience with them, like you could bring it from the train into your friends' rooms. And so that's the train aspect. And now it's about the ship aspect too.
And this is so incredible, this itinerary, to be able to spend equal parts in your beautiful train cabin, which we're going to talk about in a minute, but also sailing the beautiful rivers. Paris, it is so iconic. And so, of course, you get a bit of time there to explore. But really, what the River Cruise part of this, Megan, is about getting out of Paris and heading up north and into the Normandy region. Now, this is a beautiful return from Paris on the Joie de Vie, and I wanted to show you some of my favourite parts of her. You'll notice about the Uniworld fleet, and I know a lot of you that are watching this have already travelled with us before, so you know exactly what you're going to get, but you're surprised and delighted each time because they are designed just for that little stretch of river. I think we're not allowed to have favourite ships, but the Joie de Vie is certainly up there for me. I think about the beautiful 20th century Parisian styling. I think about Le Bistro that you can see up there on the top left. You really have an opportunity to experience Paris, but on the board the ship. And we have a saying about her is that she may leave Paris, but Paris never leaves the ship. But it's not just about being on board this beautiful vessel. It's also about getting on shore. And this itinerary is fabulous for visiting quaint villages like Honfleur in the north. It's also, of course, about the war history, the incredible history that we have in this part of the world, and you will have an opportunity to honour the Commonwealth sites there too. Or perhaps you're an avid golfer. We have a prestigious golf club on the cliffs of Etretat where we get to go and play a round of golf. And these are all included in your cruise fare when you do it. Same like Golden Eagle, we just take care of everything for you. But also you have the choice of included excursions to really tailor your experience to exactly what you're looking for. Now I'm going to pass back to Megan because we're coming to my favourite train journey, and that's the Balkan Explorer.
Oh, I love Jen. Jen and I think you say this is your favorite. We'll talk about that because it is a magnificent trip. It truly is. It takes in such a huge variety of culture and also those different dynasties that dominated many regions of the world. And so we step into the trip that's the part of the train combines beautifully with Uniworld's La Venezia. So time in the Venice Lagoon, and I'm going to leave that to Jen. And then you join the train for all of those incredible off-train activities that include, again, visits to the Postojna Caves. We have then private concerts along the way, private viewings. And it really is about the immersion of the external world. I think you'll see from the upcoming pictures that you've got everything from the magnificence of the Mostar Bridge through to that Islamic feel, that Istanbul, that where the, the Orient meets Europe, and such an incredible off-train program. But also what's so exquisite about both Uniworld's programs and our train trips is that then we welcome you back on board, back on your home on wheels. And so when you come on board, the cabins that we welcome you into include what we call our Superior Deluxe, very elegant, everything in that room, just like a hotel room. We've got then an incredible cabin attendant service, and I know, Jen, your onboard team is just as exceptional, very caring. I know that's one comment we get many times about our staff is how they feel like they've met family. And so that 24/7 attendant. And you might also opt for, I like this class. It's our cozy class, which is our deluxe class. And so this cabin, ideal for those solo travelers, also friends. And you'll see this was actually my cabin on the latest departure. You can see I left my slippers out for you. But I loved sitting in the day and traveling through the Alps and just seeing, as you traverse these beautiful landscapes, it's like life comes to you. And so you go from this beautiful day setting out, adventuring through the day, then you come back at night, shower, change, and then you come back to your room after dinner. And what's so magnificent is that the bed's been made up, these little handmade chocolates have been left for you, your bathrobe's awaiting, the underfloor heating. It's just like stepping into such a cozy cocoon. And the fantastic part about it is the choice is yours on board. I know our train, but also the ships, because you may want to wake and have breakfast in bed, to stay in bed and watch the world pass by, or you may want to go join everyone in the dining cars. But whatever your choice, everything is available so that you truly get to relax and just enjoy the benefits of slow travelers. Let the world come to you. And Jen, I'm going to let you now talk about what this combines with, because this one, I love the Venice aspect.
It is just beautiful. And hearing you talking about the beautiful train, I mean, here you'll see a beautiful suite on the SS La Venezia. But of course, we have to be able to fit through locks, and we have our own challenges with the size of the ships in Europe. But I know you have your own challenges with the sizing, with the tunnels and keeping, small and compact. And I think that cozy is such a beautiful word. But what I'd like to say about the train and also our ships is that they're so incredibly well thought out of and designed so that they are really, really spacious in ways that is so different. Like if we put our luggage under the beds, we can completely unpack. It really is a beautiful experience. And it's being able to be in these compact vessels or trains that get us right into the heart of the town, which is really special. And speaking about being right in the heart of the town, I wanted to really highlight this Venice or Venetian Lagoon itinerary that pairs up with the Balkan Explorer, because it's very, very unique. And perhaps you've been to Venice a number of times before, but this is seeing it in a completely new light. So we actually dock right at San Basilio. And then we don't do a traditional, sailing further down a river. We actually just float around the Venetian Lagoon. So you can kind of think of this as your floating boutique hotel. And I wanted to share with you what she looks like. She's only 63 cabins, so it's a very intimate experience. And when you consider that you're staying right on the island, it really is the best location in town. And then I think about Italy and Venice and how this ship has been designed with all the fabrics from House of Fortuny. It really is about wrapping you up in the beautiful fabrics that make Venice, and the textures and the florals. It is such a beautiful way to see it. And when you think about what's included, when every Aperol spritz is included, all of your shore excursions, all of your transport, it is such a blissful week to be able to just unpack. That's the lounge on the top right there, Harry's Lounge. It's just divine. And so this pairs up really beautifully with that. And I was just going to share with you one story about my experience when I did the Venetian Lagoon that talks to how special some of the private openings are that you get on Uniworld. So this is a photo here. I've got it off Google. Some of you might recognize it. It's Doge's Palace. Now, Doge's Palace is this incredible place, but whether you've been here or another monument, you all, I know, have had this experience of being shuffled around, seeing it from behind somebody else's back. But what we actually do at the very comfortable time of 9 a.m. is arrive at the palace before it's open to the public. And this is the experience we have. It is so special to be there, to be able to marvel at the ceiling, not worried about bumping into the person next to you. What I love about these smaller groups, I think there was about 16 of us in our little groups at a time, is that you could move ahead or linger back and really feel like you have the place entirely to yourself. And then when we walked out of here, we were greeted to the lines of people ready to get into the palace and into the basilica. And I'm telling you, when we walked out there, I was feeling so smug. It was this incredible feeling to have had the place entirely to ourselves. And then we had the full day in Venice. We just wandered, got lost in the streets, had a beautiful little concetti and aperols in the streets. And then when we came back to the ship, we had an early dinner because there was a special surprise waiting for us. And that was a special opening of St. Mark's Basilica. So we went in with our art historian, who did a beautiful lighting ceremony of all the domes. She walked us through, we sat down, we were the only ones there. It was such a special experience. We even went behind the altar to be able to see this incredible jeweled tapestry. We went down into the crypt that's not typically open to the public. We were able to look at the floor and the mosaics and not be worried about all the people, because tens of thousands of people had walked there today, and it was just our Uniworld group. It was really special, and all of our itineraries are dotted with experiences like this. I think of Golden Eagle and the trains and how they do the beautiful private concerts that Megan just mentioned in Postojna Caves. It's about these money can't buy experiences, or perhaps even places that you've been before, but you're seeing it in a completely new light. It's really, really special. So don't write off Venice if you've been before, because this is seeing it in a completely different way, and also outside of the island into the other islands too. I'm very, very passionate about sending people to Venice because it was such a beautiful experience with Uniworld. Now, we've talked about my favourite train journey. Megan, I'm going to pass this one back to you.
Thank you. This one is my favorite. I know we're not supposed to have favorites, but truly, this Grand Alpine Express, this one is such an exquisite way to truly traverse the magnificence of Mother Nature. And again, Jen, I love the things you've mentioned, the all-inclusiveness, the exclusiveness, and that you guys have this beautiful width that a river will afford, whereas for us on trains, since we have tunnels, we have to go longer in our cabins. So that total comfort of your surrounds is so important, I know, to both of our organizations, so that you have the most incredible stay on board, either the ship or the train. And this combines beautifully with a few, actually, of the Uniworld departures. This one that we have now for you is Bucharest through to Budapest, where then you join the train. So 7 nights on the train, 7 nights sailing, an exquisite 14-day package. And really, this one is about the landscape. It is the most magnificent setting to traverse those Alps on a train. You'll see on the map following that there's this Simmering Pass, which is a UNESCO heritage pass, and the train traverses that. You then go into the tunnels, and as you come out the tunnels, you've got these fields beautifully green with cows lowing and the Alps in the background. Magnificent. And aside from the various private tours, so we have private boat trips on the lakes, Lake Aachen, Lake Como, Lake Bled. There's the other aspects to this trip that truly make it not just a scenery departure, but really about the various cultures too. And I think I'd like to show you a video, I think, which probably can sum up this adventure, plus what a Golden Eagle adventure is truly about. So, Jen, I'll turn that over to you.
It really is divine, isn't it? And to be able to just roll down the window and take a photo out and see those incredible scenery that, you know, they haven't built roads in some of these places, right, Megan? So you're seeing it in a completely new angle. Like you see something from the river, you're going to see something through the Alps that's, you know, really unique to rail travel. So it's very, very special. And Megan mentioned there are a couple of itineraries that pair up so beautifully with this iconic journey. I think you might have convinced me to put it higher on my list, up there with the Balkan Explorer. But it also connects with our Venetian Lagoon itinerary. This is the one where we'd like to highlight that there's 3 different itineraries that you can pair that with, that we've put together and seamlessly added together. One is the Venetian Lagoon itinerary. This is the second one, Enchanting Danube, on the SS Maria Theresa, traveling between Passau and Budapest, depending on which direction you do it with the train. This is iconic sailing of the Danube. This is the palatial cities. This is Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia, which I think is the smallest capital city I've been to. But it's also the beautiful Passau, which is actually on the confluence of 3 rivers, where you stand on the top deck of our ship and you can actually see the 3 different coloured rivers connecting before they start to blend. It's really quite spectacular. And this is, of course, Habsburg territory. This is visiting Schönbrunn Palace when you're in Vienna, named, you know, this area with the Habsburg residences, and then you come back to the ship, named the Maria Theresa after the Austrian Empress herself, and come back and have a glass of champagne in the Habsburg lounge. It really is quite special. This ship is so opulent that you will feel like the destination is certainly brought to life on board this one. And then another itinerary that this pairs up with, which I think might interest a lot of you because it's very, very popular, is our Eastern Europe itinerary. So you get off the train in Budapest, and instead of going north on the Danube, you do the lower Danube, the Eastern Bloc countries. Now, this is really raw history that you'll get to experience. On the SS Beatrice, that is the blue hues of the Danube brought to life, and you can travel along this incredible stretch of river in uncharted territory, really, for our customers that have never experienced this part of the world before. This is a fabulous way to do it, where you get your hand held and looked after in beautiful style and care. So there's a couple of options for that one, and it'd be very hard to choose, but I think for me, the Eastern European one is very enticing because of that really raw history that they have to share with us as well. Now, I just wanted to wrap all of this up and say thank you to Megan, of course, but we just wanted to highlight that there is these 3 incredible opportunities. So remember, we were talking about Paris to Istanbul over 7 nights, where you actually get to get off the train and immerse yourself in those destinations. Or perhaps you were really interested in the Grand Alpine Express, where you get to see that incredible scenery that Megan was talking about, her favourite, or maybe it was my favourite, the Balkan Explorer, where you get to go into all of those individual countries that if you wanted to do that yourself or get a car, it would take a month, you know, to be able to see and explore, and you wouldn't even know all the best bits because we've just done it for you and made it really, really easy. And these itineraries are absolutely very, very good value when you look at rail travel, and Golden Eagle being the most beautiful trains in Europe, all with ensuite bathrooms. These itineraries really are very, very good value. I also wanted to highlight that we're running this series for the months of January and February on lots of our individual destinations. So perhaps you were really curious about Egypt and the Nile, which is certainly back in fashion. It's really, really, really popular for us. Or maybe you're thinking about some fairy tale castles along the Rhine or the Danube. We've absolutely got a deep dive into those destinations, so make sure you register for those if you're interested in learning more. But from the bottom of our hearts, from Megan and I, we are so grateful for your time. Truly, I genuinely hope that we get to welcome you on board one day soon, because I hand on heart promise you that our crew on both the rivers and on the trains will absolutely take care of you. So thank you so much for trusting us with your holiday plans. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.